Hi, the Mudbrooker here. Today I'm going to show you how to set up and run a lye bath for stripping cast iron cookware. Lye baths have several advantages and a few disadvantages. The first advantage is you can do a lot of pans all at once in a good sized lye bath. How big you make the bath is dictated by how many pans you need to do, so you can potentially do hundreds of pans at one time if you go to a really industrial scale. What I'm using is a large plastic tote and 10 gallons of water. And depending on the pans, I can fit anywhere from 5 to a dozen different pans in there all at the same time. The disadvantage is you got a big tub of caustic chemical and you have to deal with concentrated lye, at least in the beginning when you're setting it up, which means you have to follow some pretty basic safety rules, and I'll get to those in a little bit. The other disadvantage is when you're done, you're going to have a big tub full of black, greasy, nasty looking lye to get rid of. It is safe to flush it down the drain. You have to be a little careful with it, but again, it's not too much of a problem. Another advantage of a lye bath is that it is reusable. I'm going to mix this up now. This is the middle of June, and I'll be able to use this all summer. Simply take out the pans when they're clean, put in the next batch, and it'll last for quite a long time, which makes it very economical if you have a lot of pans to clean. If you only have 1 or 2 pans to clean, you're still better off with oven cleaner rather than messing around mixing up a big batch of lye. But if you got a bunch of stuff to do, this is really the way to go. Now, like I said, I have 10 gallons of water here, and the solution we're going to use uses 1 pound of lye per 5 gallons of water. For those of you poor oppressed people who have been forced to use the metric system, 500 grams of lye per 20 liters of water will get you pretty much in the same vicinity. Now, we have to deal with chemical safety. The lye I'm using is concentrated lye crystals. This is a drain opener. It's 100% lye, and the powder is pretty caustic. You don't want to get it on your skin. The first rule of chemical safety is don't get any on ya. That means, at the very least, long sleeves, rubber gloves, absolutely eye protection. Better yet would be a face shield over a pair of safety glasses, because you get this in your eyes, it will cause permanent damage. You want to have long pants, and you want to use a little bit of care in the mixing. Once this is mixed, the solution isn't all that bad. I've got it on my skin before, and it'll tingle, leave a red spot for a few minutes, but I don't have very sensitive skin. If you have sensitive skin, it could burn you, but don't be afraid of it. It's not really all that terrible. Just use common sense, wear your safety glasses when you're dealing with it, and rubber gloves, and you'll be just okay. So, let me get my glasses on and my rubber gloves. Even better would be a liquid-proof apron, but I don't have one of them, and I like to live dangerously anyway. These are chemical-resistant nitrile gloves. They're actually made for pesticide applications, but they work fine for this because they are also resistant to most alkalis. Now, lye crystals are available in any home improvement store, hardware store, a lot of grocery stores as crystallized drain opener. Just make sure that it says 100% lye. You don't want some of the foaming type of drain openers or anything like that. You want pure lye. Another thing you need to know about lye, never allow aluminum to come in contact with the lye solution. It reacts violently. Now, with all the safety warnings out of the way and that I've thoroughly terrified you, we'll get on with the mixing. This is a 2-pound container, which works all perfectly for my 10-gallon bath. Peel that off, and something I found that comes in really handy for this is a plastic kitty litter scoop for clumping cat litter. That's because lye in the container tends to clump up, and when you pour it in, it splashes, and you want to avoid splashing. You also don't want to just pour it all in one pile in the middle of your container, because lye produces heat as it dissolves. So if you keep it scattered out, you're not going to get a hot spot, and you're not going to have a problem with boiling over or spitting back at you. I just pour it through that and allow it to sift through. Since I warned you about clumps, I don't seem to be getting any, which is good. But if you do get clumps, the cat litter scoop will catch them. And once you're all done, you can simply submerge it in the lye solution and rinse them off. Now, you can see there's a few little clumps in there, but nothing too serious. And we'll just dunk them in, rinse them off, and we'll let this stir up. Now, since I have a lot of iron in my water, you can probably see it in there. This will form kind of a scum on top, but I'll just stir that back in once it's settled down a bit. You're also going to want to have a hose and probably a jug of vinegar close by, just in case things go horribly wrong. Another thing, always add lye to the water. Never add water to the lye. If you put water in straight lye crystals, it'll produce a lot of heat, it'll boil up, and it'll splash all over you. So don't do that. Anyway, I'm going to let this, you can kind of see a little bit of it already starting to form. I'm going to let that scum come to the surface and then stir it back in. And then it'll come back and we'll throw some pans in here and see what happens. Okay, my lye is completely dissolved. The scum is come and gone, and we're ready to put our pans in there. Like I said, you can get quite a lot of pans in a bath depending on how big it is. And if they're all the same size and shape, you can arrange them in there pretty easily so that you can get a great many things in there. But I have a bunch of odds and ends that I need to clean up. I have to get some ready for my niece, giving her a set of cast iron cookware. A lot of them aren't all that bad, but you do need a cleaning. And what I normally do is I'll let them soak for a couple of days, and then I will take them out, clean them off, and see where we're at. You can leave these in here for quite a while. It's not going to hurt if you leave it in here for a week, or even a few days more than that, even a week and a half. It's not going to harm the cast iron, so it's not really something you have to put a whole lot of effort into. Just throw it in and let it soak. And you want to try and avoid bubbling. Like I said, most of these aren't too bad. This one here is pretty crusty. And I'll be back in a couple of days as soon as I get these arranged so the handle is good and submerged. And I'll be back in a couple of days and I'll show you what I got. Oh, I also have, once I take my gloves off, I have a lid for this, and I'm going to put that on there to keep the rain and the critters out of it. This doesn't make any real fumes to speak of, so odor isn't a problem. And other than keeping your critters out of it, it's pretty safe to use. So, I'll be back in a couple of days and I'll show you what we got. Okay, that's just water on there from rinsing my gloves off. And there's the lid locked on there. I just wanted to show you something quick. This has only been soaking about a half an hour, and you can already see it's pulled quite a bit of stuff off, and it's It's really starting to lift stuff off there. Like I said, this will turn black pretty quickly, but I just wanted to show you the early stages. These pans have been soaking for 3 days now in this lye bath, and I'm going to pull them out and see where we're at. Right there, I guess. The hose handy. Hopefully you can see this. The buildup and crud on these has pretty much softened and liquefied. Kind of hard to see in my viewfinder what's going on. But the crusty stuff is softened and liquefied, and it scrapes off pretty easy. I'm going to take these out, clean them up a little bit, give them all a good rinse. We'll take a look at them, and we'll see some of them might need to go back in, some of them might be ready to be taken inside and scrubbed up with soap and water and gotten ready for the next step. So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, I got everything scraped up and hosed off. Out of 10 items, most of it came really nice and clean, like this large logo number 8 Griswold pan I got. Came really clean. This is ready to go into the electrolysis tank now to get the rust off and to get any little light residue that's still on there. A couple items though. This is a Wagnerware chicken fryer with a hinged skillet lid. The bottom of it came clean, but the lid still got some crud on it that needs to come off, so I'll put this back in the tank. And there's still a little bit of stuff in the nooks and crannies of this Lodge cornstick pan. The back is nice and clean, but I'll throw that back in because these are tough to scrub, and the more stuff you can get out of it in the lye bath, the better off you are. So, 10 items, about 7 of them are ready to go on to the next step, and that's about it. And that's about all you need to know about it. I'm going to throw them back in. You can leave this in here for as long as you need to. 7-8 days. It's not going to hurt the iron any. So if you're not in a big hurry, you can just put your stuff in the lye bath, let it go. Whenever you're ready to deal with it, take it out, give it a scraping, hose it off, scrub it up, and you're ready to go on to the next step. A lye bath is reusable. I'll use this all summer without having to do anything to it, and I'll do dozens of pans in it. So it's very economical because you only set it up once and you're good to go for 6 or 7 months. Other than that, that's about it for a lye bath. I'll see you on the next video.